Hello and welcome to the Boardrack briefing with me, James Otter of Otter Surfboards, where we design and make hollow wooden surfboards. Today I'm going to talk to you about our pieces of 8 model, which is 8'3" in length, 21.5 inches wide and 2 7/8 thick. It's got about 55 litres of volume, and we designed this board to work in waves from kind of knee high right the way up to head and a half, maybe pushing a little bit higher depending on your confidence level. And the person we had in mind when we were designing it was some of our friends who longboard but wanted a smaller board for the bigger days, something that was just that little bit more nimble. Or it was for smaller framed longboarders who just don't enjoy the volume and the size of full longboards. And we've also found it works really well for people who are used to mid-lengths or bigger shortboards who want that extra bit of volume for those smaller days. The features on this board that I want to talk us through, first of all we're going to look at the outline. It's fairly wide through the nose here to make it a nice stable platform for the times that you might want to walk up to the nose. The rail line stays fairly straight through this midsection, which gives us great trim speed. And then it pulls into this pintail at the back end here, which gives us that extra bit of hold in the bigger surf. The rails themselves are quite eggy up at the front end here, about a 60-40 split over of the ratio, and they're fairly pinched, which means they're going to sit in the water really nicely so that the wave can hold onto the rail for the times when it gets really critical. Coming through the tail here, we've got a nice hard edge, which gives us that extra bit of lift on the water surface for the times when we want to stomp back over the fin and turn it, but it also gives us a nice bit of hold when it's bigger because of how thin it is. The bottom contours that we've got going on, we've got a concave through the nose here, which again, once we've walked up to the nose, gives us that extra bit of control out to the rail. It's nice and flat through the middle here, and that gives us great paddling speed and ability to catch waves. And then as we come through towards the fin section, we've got a V going on, so there's a V running across the bottom of the board, allowing us to roll from rail to rail really nicely as we're turning it. One thing that I find quite interesting about this board is actually the way the volume is distributed. So we call that the foil of the surfboard, and we've kept it fairly thin towards the tail here. The reason for that is that if it was really chunky and voluminous, then it would get lifted up as we dropped into a wave, and it'd help us get in early, but it would stop us being able to hold on those bigger wave faces. So this thin, narrow tail just allows that extra bit of hold. And then we've got a good bit of volume through the midsection of the board. And the benefit to that is that it aids with our paddling speed. So we can get up to speed quickly, we can catch waves more easily, and then when we get to our feet, we're carrying that momentum forwards really nicely. We designed this board as a single fin, and we tend to do it with our glass on wooden fins. And if you prefer to go for a box option, we nudge you towards going for the Greeno 4A as a fin. When we've had this board in the surf, we've kind of tested it through various conditions, and we found it trims really nicely in the smaller surf. So you can kind of parallel start to walk the board, just kind of play around a little bit with that speed. And then as the surf increases, we get more and more use out of the back end of the board, where we're able to stomp our weight over the fin and turn it from rail to rail really nicely. And in fact, with that extra bit of size and paddling speed, you can feel really comfortable in bigger surf as well, which has been really good fun. There's a few options in how you can get hold of it. You can either join us for 5 days and make your own, or you can have me make it for you. You will be able to find out more information on ottersurfboards.co.uk. Follow us on Instagram at Otter Surfboards. Sign up to our newsletter, and you can always subscribe to the YouTube channel below. And that's it for this time round in Boardrack Briefing. Next time we'll be looking at the next board in the rack, and we'll see you then. Thank you.